And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that short break and that short Brutal OST as we have returned with the round 16. The round of 16, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the American Protoss player, the Teal Protoss for Bing Bong Exports. It is Acheron. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is Dark. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. Dark is coming in as the heavy favorite, but I am here to see what Acheron has to offer, and I'm excited to see how he does try to approach a more prominent player like Dark. Let's go. Let us go. As again, for a lot of these players, it's about who can stop, Dark and Hero from making it to the semis, who can stop Clem from making it to the semis as well. I'm going to believe that they can have some shenanigans they are willing to whip out. Cheese them out, Pappy. Cheese them out. Let's go. We'll see if they can. For the time being, we do have a standard open out of Dark, hatch, gas, pool, everything looking as it should. So far, so good. Also, it's one of those things where I do want to try to catch Dark while I can, as often as I can, just because he is, of course, going to the military momentarily. I don't know when exactly. We don't have any exact dates. I'm sure he knows. We do not. We just know at least that it is looming on the horizon here very shortly. There's a reason why Dark left his team. He did cite that his military service was coming up, so he is now teamless as a result. Likewise, Dark, it is theorized that he did not compete in Massacre Coliseum, likewise because of his looming military service as well, as he would have been unable to have competed just because Massacre Coliseum is lasting, the entire month of January. Oh, that's right. Let's go. So getting my Dark while I can, Bappy. All the Dark. All of it. Now we are settling in. Just going to be a gate expand into the Cybercore. So far, so good. We'll see if Acheron does go for any kind of hidden tech. The pylon gets thrown down in between the gases, so this should be a Stargate. There we go. Stargate gets thrown down as this is closer to the edge of the main, edge of the base, to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. So far, it looks like a standard build here from the Protoss. Probe is going to be shut down. Dark getting his third base, happily joining up. Just joining, just saturating. Building up back at home. And really, my eyes are going to be on Acheron as to what happens after the initial Stargate, after the initial unit. Does he go into a third base? Does he delay his tech? Does he rush into tech and go into faster Twilight counts or into glaives? Does he go for a standard build? Does he go for something more out of the norm? See, that's the first step that does get across the map. Does threaten the shade. Doesn't commit. Acheron in position to expand. A third base has been placed. So far, everything looking as it should. So far, we're good. Good. There we go. Second Oracles in production. Is moving out across the map. Making its way in between the bases. And it is going to be the Twilight Council into Forge. Okay, it looks like +1 and Blink. We have the tech of choice. We have the follow-up. Standard build, standard game. Okay. I respect it. We're going straight up against Dark. Let's go. Dark, meanwhile, that's going to be a faster Eva chamber. This tells us that Dark most likely is going to be looking to skip Roaches and skip Roach production, going into +1 melee, going into Ling Hydra. As we should be seeing that lair momentarily as well. After +1, of course. Yep, as we did mention, yep, +1 melee. So again, this is just Ling Hydra here from Dark. Dark, he is being greedy in a sense. He is cutting tech. He is cutting roaches to make this happen. If Acheron went for an all-in, if he was hyper-aggressive, if he went for like an 8-gate, 3-base all-in, or if he had gone into +1 and charge into an earlier charge timing, then Dark would be in danger. Then Dark would be in trouble. But as we can see, because it's a standard game, because it's a standard build, the Dark can get away with skipping roaches and just going straight lings into hydras with that lair. So Dark, he can get away with it, assuming that Acheron doesn't throw down like 8 gates and commits. Stark is getting into the base, making a safety amount of lings, droning up. Oracles are turned away. Now, something that I should emphasize here is... there it is. I was going to say, the lair feels quite late. This is going to be almost a 6-minute lair timing here for Dark. Dark, he invested quite heavily into these lings initially, so it does look like Dark, he's going to be delaying his hive tech, delaying his lair tech, delaying his hydras in favor of a heavier ling bane composition. There it is, 24 lings on the way. Now, because this was delayed here, this might not even just be ling hydra. This might even be something crazy like ling into hive into ultra, which we haven't seen in quite some time. Lings, they move out, they get us around. Blink isn't done. No shot, Blink is not done. Oracles, they try to support. Stalker's going to be going down. Massive catch here for Dark. Takes down how many? Takes down 6 Stalkers. Pulls away. And show us the infestation pit. It's been a while since we've seen Dark. He used to do this more prevalently or prominently back in the ancient Cistern map pool. Safety Roach Warren. It's not a Hydra Den. Yeah, infestation pit, he's doing it. It is going to be Ling Bane into Ultra. So he's rushing Ultras instead. Again, the tell was just how late the lair was. Like, obviously you're not going Ling Hydra if there's no lair, if there's no Hydras. So it is going to be Ling Ultra instead. As things they overwhelm. Now, the way that this build works and what we're seeing here is that you do have to cut workers earlier than normal. You can see here that Dark is only on 3 base saturation with 66 drones. He has very little gas to work with as well, and you have to make an abundance of lings early on, otherwise you're just going to be overwhelmed. You need those extra lings, you need that lava, and you need to keep the Protoss at home. And if you can keep the Protoss at home, you can get away with this, with the Hive. Hive is on the way, and this leads into Ultras. And Dark is vulnerable, but because of how many lings he has, he's keeping Acheron busy. Is keeping him busy. Keeping him pinned back. Oracle goes down. Oracle doesn't really get eyes on much here. He sees some saturation, sees some gases. Has yet to really confirm any tech. Does get eyes on the lair, sorry, on the Hive. Yeah, big scout here for Acheron. That should be a tell. Sees the infestation bit, now he knows. Robo's on the way, Temple Archives, we need Immortals. We need Immortals and Archons. Just like a heavy Archon Immortal composition is necessary here. With Storm, with more Immortals. Otherwise, Dark is going to snowball out of control. Prism is on the way, extra gateways. This looks like a 3-base all-in. I mean, that could work as well, true. Bearing in mind that Dark needs more time for that Hive and more time for those Ultras. Hive is now done. There's that Ultra Cavern that we did mention. And here comes the mass attempted surround. A little bit delayed here for Dark. Yeah, not the best execution. Has to pull away. Oh, Blink is on cooldown. Dark, he is tempted to dive in. Charge also morphing in. We need Banelings. 27 Banelings morphing in back at home. Dark, he's buying time. He's distracting the Protoss. And morphing in those mains. And again, Ultras are not going to come into play here because this is a 3-base all-in. It's all or nothing for Acheron. And he has potential. As long as he doesn't take the Banelings to the face. Oh my god, Banelings, they crash in. They're going for the Zealots. Can they get there? They're going past the Stalkers. Zealots, they run away. No! To get out of here. Nice spread here with the Zealots. They get away with the Stalkers. They go down to the Lings. And with that, Dark is going to shut this down. A couple of Banelings, they do crash in. And Dark, he will shut down the main army. We'll clean everything up. And GG, well played. We don't get eyes on the Ultras. Kindness plating was on the way. And Dark will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Dark will take a lead in the series. Does take a lead. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Again, as soon as we saw the late layer, as soon as we saw the mass lings, it was like, oh, this is Ultras. Which the only reason why that clicked is because we have seen Dark do this many times before, especially in years past. I mentioned earlier that this used to be Dark's go-to during the Ancient Cistern map pool. We saw it on Ancient Cistern. We saw it a little bit on Gressvan as well. But it's been a while since this was a more like kind of predominant style here from Dark. In current meta, in current StarCraft, you don't see this anywhere near as often. So it was a nice treat. It was a nice treat. Let's go. So getting into game 2. Gonna be loading into game number 2. It's gonna be on El Dorado. I see someone in the chat saying, Dark's military service has been coming up for more than 2 years now. That is true. That is definitely true that I think the first time we had heard of it was at IEM Katowice, if you remember. I think it was 2 years ago at IEM, where Dark, he found out that he got a letter from the military while he was in Poland and while he was at IEM, and he had an interview regarding that, talking about how, I think it was even at the event itself, maybe, or maybe just after, he spoke about how that had like affected his mental state, because he was, you know, competing, he was playing, and then he got the news, so he was it did affect him. But as we've seen clearly, you know, we haven't really seen that come to fruition until recently. As I mentioned before, like, he did have an interview, or he did, you know, post his own words talking about it, which is why he did end up leaving Talon Esports. But now we can settle into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the American Protoss player, the Teal Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Acheron. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Pappy himself. We have the Red Zerg player leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. I'm curious, this is something where like an interview would be really nice with Dark, but I'm curious if the military has any leniency when it comes to like raising a child. I don't know if that's the case or not. I know they have certain like restrictions, especially when it comes to like medical issues and stuff like that. But of course, you know, last year Dark, you know, he's a pappy now, he's a father, and I'm sure that played a factor into wanting to be a part of like his daughter's life and his daughter's initial upbringing, like before going to the military. So I'm sure that most likely factored in, I would imagine. Would like to be there for the birth of his child, sort of thing. Crazy, I know. How dare he? How dare he want to be a pappy? As now the Overlord does dip in, and we have our opener here. Just a gate expanded inside, of course, standard opener here out of Acheron. Likewise at Dark back at home, just going to be droning up, settling in, hatch gas pool. Nothing too crazy, link speed is on the way, pulls out of gas. And we'll see if Dark does expand towards his opponents. Welcome on and all to El Dorado. El Dorado is a very unique map where you can try to expand towards your opponent. You can mine through these minerals and be hyper aggressive. Likewise, we have seen a lot of unique builds from, both sides, whether it's Zerg or Protoss. Last time we saw Dark on this map, he was going for a Mass Nidus Swarm Host, which makes sense just because there are entire halves of the map that are completely cut off, so you can just safely go for Nidus Swarms and go for Swarm Host play. Likewise, you can make use of the terrain and go into Tempest Rushes as well. That has also been a predominant build on this map. Or even just 3 base all-ins, just moving out, short rush distance by ground. There's some crazy stuff in general. Meanwhile, the Adept does shade in, gets 2 drone kills, not bad. 2 workers go down, but a miscontrol here out of Dark. A nice start for the Protoss. Is a nice start. As Darky dips in, he gets eyes on everything. He does get eyes on the Stargate and on the Oracle that's on the way. So Darky's fully aware of the opener. Back at home. Building up his queens. Settling in. Oh my... And speaking of crazy builds on El Dorado, that is a 340 lair timing. Let's go. Very early lair here by Dark. What could this be? Depending on the gas count, this could be a couple different things. If we do take extra gases, this could be a Nidus-based all-in. It could be a Link Queen Nidus. This could also be a Hydra rush, rushing into extra gases, into a third and fourth gas here at the natural, rushing into Hydras. It could be 2-base Muta, could be rushing into more gases, into a Spire, into Muta play. What do you have for a Stark? This shouldn't be a Drop Lord German Taxi, otherwise we would be seeing Overlord speed as well. But you have my attention. Now what's important, Acheron, he saw the lair, and that should be a massive red flag. He saw the lair so quickly, so fast, so early on, and he needs to rescout. He needs to figure out what this is for. He needs to check the gases and figure out what exactly Dark is up to. No extra gases have been taken, and we are going, yep, Link Queen Nidus. If extra gases were taken, it should be for either Hydras or for a Spire or even Infestation Pit. Without gases, it's only for the Nidus, for Lings and Queens. And again, it's not like I don't piece it all together. I mean, he saw the lair, didn't see extra gases. He should recheck the gases and recheck this location. Getting to blink, +1, extra gateways. No shield batteries. I don't think Acheron has really noticed. I don't think he's pieced it all together. He's just saturating his third. Oh, no. Not like this. Nidus is on the way, and Dark, he is looking to just end the game here and now. Baliness as well. The Oracles, they do get eyes on at least some of these Lings. Lings move out. And now we get some reactive shield batteries, but these are so late. Acheron, he's caught with his pants down. He had no idea what's going on. Pulls the boys away. The Stalkers, they get trapped. A blink is not done. A Stalker goes down. And the expansion as well. Yeah, this third base is forfeit. Meanwhile, Overlord in the main can throw down another Nidus. Now Dark, he's distracting. Oracles move out. Dark rushing into the infestation bit. Okay. Interesting. Let's go. Yeah, the base goes down. Lings, they collapse in. Blink is still not done. Nice stasis though. Stasis trap does go off. Despite that, Lings are still breaking through. At least they're trying to. But now they're zoned away. Dark pulling back. Another stasis trap is being thrown down. And Acheron, he's holding on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Dark, he's finally droning. He's finally droning up. Getting to +1 melee. With the infestation bit, this could just be for a fast Hive, getting into Ultras and Adrenal. Yep, speaking of, fast Hive is on the way. So very similar kind of end game here for Dark as he did in the previous game. Just going Mass Ling Bane into avenge the Ultras. And we'll see if he can get there. Last game we didn't see any Ultras. Meanwhile, Nidus into the main. Acheron, does he notice? Oh. He's distracted. He's distracted here by the creep, by the tumors. Does he notice in time? He doesn't. He doesn't notice. Not like this. Nidus, it finishes. The main base under threat. Nothing in the Nidus, by the way. There's nothing in the Nidus. There we go. Just now loading up. I don't think Dark expected this Nidus to finish, but hey, it did. Acheron being active on the map. Means they funnel in as well. Acheron, he's committed. He's going all in. He moves out. There's not much less to defend back at home. So Lings are breaking through. Queens, they do actually race back into the Nidus. They pop out. The Queens are exposed. Queens are going down. Boys are being pulled. Acheron, he's popping up here. Can he break Dark? Can he break through? Lings, they race back the stasis. Oh, stasis goes off. Massive connection. And Dark, he's in trouble. He is in trouble. It took a little bit too long to recognize what was happening. The Queen count was reset. Lings are on the way. That's 12 drone kills. Oof. Nidus goes down. The Queens who are left inside have fallen. These Stalkers are going to be cleaned up. Dark, he's going to hold. These are rough losses here for Acheron. Expensive losses. There's no way out. One Stalker tries to get away. From here, Dark, he still maintains an economy. Yeah, and he's snowballing out of control. He has more than enough to deal with this. Stalker's going to be dealt with. And Dark, he's still on 4 bases. That's the reality here. He's on 4 bases, 4 hatcheries. Can he rebuild his queens? Hive is done. Adrenal's on the way. Dark, he was greedy when it comes to attacking, but he's getting away with it. And the win condition for Dark is to make sure this 3rd base doesn't get up and running. It's so exposed, so wide open. It's down on the low ground. Dark, he's going to be collapsing in. Barely any zealots. Aliens, they waddle forward. And Dark, he's just trading so efficiently here with these lings. Taking out most of the stalkers. Oh god, trading minerals for gas essentially. And Acheron, he can't afford this. No, can't afford these losses. As everything is going down, and from here, Darky has access to the 3rd base. GG, well played. Good luck in the next round, as Dark will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he will claim the series, will advance on. Very well done, and a very unique style as well. Again, it was great to see Ling Bane into Ultras once again. I mean, we saw that, and we saw the attempted build in game number 1. Didn't quite fully bring that into fruition. But again, it's been a while since we've seen that. It's been a hot minute. Likewise, here in game 2, we saw something that is a lot more common with Dark. That was a Ling Queen Nidus all in instead. Didn't quite kill Acheron completely, and we saw Acheron bounce back. He had a good opportunity when it came to his counterattack. He was able to reset the queen count. He was able to bust in and get 12 drone kills as well. It was impressive. Unfortunately, though, he got pinned in the natural base, and he lost every single stalker there. He chose not to recall. He stood his ground, but alas, he couldn't quite maintain himself. And yeah, after he lost his army, that was game. That was game then and there. GG. And with that, Dark, he will take the series, and we have to take a moment here to catch up and figure out, does Dark have an opponent? Where are we going? Where are we dropping? Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves.